Feelin Bubbly. Our team chose to do the bubble blowing machine, and our team members are
Megan Asanti,
Celine Chan,
Emily Lechner, Cami Oakes.
Tasked with creating the bubble blowing machine, our group underwent the 5 steps of the design cycle: ask, imagine, plan, create, and improve. Our group began the FEDD process by completing the ask portion of the design cycle. We came up with a list of questions that we deemed necessary in order to best design our bubble machine. The first question we came up with was, what power source should we use to power the bubble machine? Photovoltaic cells or electrochemical batteries? Next, we were asking ourselves, should we use a CD or some circular object or bubble wands in order to generate the most bubbles? What should we include in our bubble solution? How will the motor be slow enough as to not spill the bubble solution? And what design will allow a functional bubble machine that's also easily transportable? Throughout the FEDD process, we had to frequently come back to this first step in the design cycle, ask.
The second step of our design process was to imagine what we wanted our machine to look like and how we wanted it to function. In order to do this, we needed to research the different aspects of a bubble machine and decide which options would be best for us. Using this research, we decided on which bubble solution formula to use, what type of power source we preferred, and the basic setup and design layout of our machine. The third step of our design process was to plan. Moving into planning, our team gathered materials from the engineering resource room, checked out an Arduino kit from the library, researched the process of bubble formation in order to gather the best data and information on making bubble solution and bubble machines, made a basic prototype for what we wanted to accomplish, watched videos in order to get a better grasp for the task on hand. As the project advanced, we frequently had to change our plan to adjust for new flaws in the design.
When we began to create our bubble machine, we already had an idea of what we wanted our machine to look like and followed our prototype accordingly. When creating our machine, we had to decide how we wanted to attach everything to one another in order to make it transportable, where the Arduino and motors would sit in relation to the box and reservoir of bubble solution, and we had to make our final decision between electrochemical batteries or indoor photovoltaic cells. As we began the hands-on work with our machine, we realized we had many improvements to make and built upon our original design.
The last step of the design process is to improve. Throughout the entire process, we were improving on our original design in order to avoid and correct some of our design challenges. Several ways that we improved the project were changing up and experimenting with the bubble solution in order to decrease the dripping and still create bubbles, increasing the distance between our bubble wand and motor to keep the soap from falling on the motor, utilizing 2 separate circuits to get the appropriate voltage to each motor.
When building our bubble machine, we faced a couple of design challenges, namely in the areas of power and speed. Back when we were using solar panels, we had difficulties generating enough power to turn the fan. To fix that, we switched to batteries. But then we had to control the amount of voltage that both systems received in order to maximize the input to the fan and lessen the ones towards the wands, which were facing speed issues, since they were spinning faster than the bubbles could form. This also led to a lot of splashing, which was detrimental to our project. To solve this issue, we repeatedly lowered the amount of voltage powering the wands until we finally settled on 1 AAA battery. If we could do it all over again, there are a couple of things that we would have done differently. First of all, we would explore different power sources, especially wind power sources, since those that used wind power sources on FEDD day did better than those that didn't, since they could use a bigger fan and consequently blow more bubbles faster. In addition, it would have been good to follow through with our glow-in-the-dark bubble solution idea, because that would have gave us more creativity points. Adding more bubble wands is also a good idea, since it would allow us to maximize the amount of bubbles produced in 1 minute. Starting building faster would also be a good idea, since it would allow us plenty of time to improve our design later on. Utilizing on-campus resources is something we should have done better, and also we should have made our project look more cohesive.
Our team, Feelin Bubbly, with 20 points, placed second to last at the afternoon session of FEDD. While our device did not function as well as we had hoped, we have learned a lot from the experience about the design process in addition to time management and problem solving.
For the upcoming freshmen, we have tons of advice. Firstly, gather materials quickly before they run out and start building early. Go beyond the basic requirements and think outside of the box. Do your best to be more creative. Be prepared to speak about your project at FEDD and be knowledgeable about everything. Make sure it's portable. Don't stress out too much. Utilize your on-campus resources such as the makerspace and your professors, and dress nicely and be confident.